They sling the dirt, and at times at each other. It's Stremme and Stremme on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tire. Here are David and Ashley.
Hey, race fans, it is Tuesday, and we are going to talk about late models and modifieds, as usual, here on the show.
Are you okay?
I'm great. I know you're excited.
Did you, I didn't understand a bit of that opening
Yeah,
part.
me neither.
All right, go on.
I don't know why they let me do this job.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we are Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We have a phenomenal show today. We have Austin Arneson. He's your USMTS winner at Cedar Lake Speedway.
Big win for him.
Yeah. Darrell Lanigan, picks up his first Lucas win of the year this year at Magnolia.
Yep.
And last but not least, Billy Pauch Jr., he picked up the Dirty Jersey 40. He is 10 grand richer this week.
The big block guys are really getting going here.
It's about time. Tonight at Williams Grove, their first time back in 10 years. So that'll be interesting.
I've been following Max McLaughlin a little bit, and he lost by less than a tenth to his first feature win. So he's getting up there, getting going.
Mm-hmm. Well, before you get on your soapbox, because I think they're bringing you one in here shortly.
Oh,
but a couple things we need to hit before we get started on that. The UFO late models have called it quits. The series has.
The aliens got them.
Yes. Exactly.
Wondered what was going on.
Exactly.
Well, no offense, but we already have 5 million late model series, so why do you need more?
But because he only did it in a certain area. And what he was doing was great. Just unfortunately, he couldn't get anybody to follow the series.
You also have the UELS. They have Chris. No, it's Chris Zuvler. I don't even know how to say his last name. I'm just telling you, they have so many late model divisions. Okay, we don't need all of them, but. Sure. Go on.
And then my other bit of news is Central New York Raceway Park has halted all construction.
And that's where the super dirt car...
That's correct.
Oh, no. What happened? Some money laundering going on?
Yeah.
Really? Imagine that.
It sounds that way. Not from the people, not the Donnellys or any of those. Okay. Through the company that handles the government funding. Yeah. Is where it's all happening.
Somebody's sitting at a desk, and they forgot to carry the one and put it in their account instead of
pretty much. No.
Donnelly. So.
They were getting a $7.5 million grant, I believe it was, and so far they've only seen $800,000. So
wow.
That has
missing a few zeros there.
Yeah, that has put a bit of a kink in their operations. So the construction companies have halted until they're able to be paid.
So now it's probably definitely a Oswego.
Well, it hasn't been announced.
Well, I hope
that is
so.
The track, but that is
the
rumor. So
I love, they've been working hard up there, but we keep asking everybody like, hey, what's going on? Where's the progress at? And I guess we know if there's no money, then they should get that new drug.
Donnelly is waiting for a letter from the government agency saying that the money will be given to him, and if that's the case, then he will get a loan for the money and then go from there. But he wants a letter stating.
We'll just hope Trump gets in, and then we'll just get some money.
We don't talk politics on this show. We talk racing.
Anyways,
so
we're going to talk a little bit of it.
Your soapbox is this here? Please climb on it. Your soapbox. I'm struggling today.
Listen, the thing
you're about to talk for the next 15 minutes.
No, I want you involved in this too. But anyway, so I'm going to bed last night, and as soon as I'm getting ready to go to bed, you were asleep, and I was sitting there, I was just laughing. They put out the press release, World Racing Group, or I should say UMP, from the dirt car Eldora Dream race, that 5 guys ended up failing tire samples there out of 32 tests. Now, 32 tests, there's 28. Let me make sure 28 drivers total. So some of the guys were multiple tested. Anyways, the drivers were Scott Bloomquist, Jimmy Owens, Greg Satterley, Brandon Shepard, and Ricky Thornton Jr. Before I get going here, the first thing is take no credit away from these guys. Listen, they are very talented. Just because they got caught doesn't mean that, you take away what they've been doing or what they have done. This is a very serious business in this industry. I very put up a vocal opinion much.
Who talk about stuttering?
Yeah, excuse me, many of times to series, and I love that like the Southeastern Dirt Modified series does it. Sam has done it at the UMP Modified Nationals. Anyways, these are just 5 guys. out of the many that do this, all right, and it happens. But kudos to Roger Slack, Sam Dragers, and everybody at UMP for doing this, because
it keeps our sport honest.
What happens is the little guys, now that they figured, hey, we can't go there, we couldn't compete, they say, hey, this is great. Now I can go there, and at least I know I'm on the same playing field for the most part. And I just think it's big for our sport. It needs to happen. There's a lot of this going on. What people don't understand, a lot of the fans, this took a lot of money to put up the test. I mean, we're talking $6,000 to $7,000, somewhere in there, estimating, of the test. Now, all the money totaled that is basically in fines, which they got their purse money taken out. They have to pay for the tire test, everything else, totaled $19,630. So it's pretty big. Now, on the other hand, when you look at this, some of these drivers just drive for the team. They show up and drive. Some probably didn't know what was going on. Some did. Who knows? My thing is what's happening in our day and age with technology. And again, kudos to Roger Slack and everybody for stepping up. But it's not like they're treating chemicals that it used to be you'd put in a tire and say that chemical is never in the tire. Now they're putting stuff in the tire that's already in there. It's just going past what they call the benchmark. And hopefully they've tightened up them benchmarks. But again, kudos to them. This is a really, really serious issue. And not only late model guys, there was modified guys.
In every series there is.
Yeah, modified guys, street stock guys, everything. Everybody was talking about it. And we see it all over. The Fuel Series a couple weeks ago, a gentleman, pretty reputable guy, ended up winning, got the race taken away. And Sika, we see it all the time. They are very, very no tolerance on tire prep and everything. But tire doping was trending last night. So probably the drug dealers, they're like, what's this tire dope? What's this new market? These racers, what are these guys doing here? So anyways, it was trending. And
the thing that I hate about it more than anything is once you get caught cheating, because that's ultimately what they did when they doped their tires, you are now labeled a cheater no matter what. Well, so the thing that really sucks, I think personally, from a fan side, is when somebody wins, I ultimately first think, were they cheating?
Yeah. Well, in the governing body, in this case, Roger Slack and Sam and all his guys, that's what they're there for, is to keep us in line. And I've said it all along. The reason I have a really, really high voice on this is because of I have a lot of reputation that I could lose for doing this. Kenny Wallace, Schrader, all of us talk about it all the time. We cannot mess with any of this stuff. The other thing is I hate when we ran asphalt back at Kalamazoo Speedway, it was legal. And there was so much time and prepping tires and doing all this stuff. It was a pain in the butt, to tell you the truth.
But why was it legal?
It was legal. For one, it was hard to police more than anything. So they would go and they just allowed it. And you would spend hours during the week, and then you could take older tires and make it happen. So the guys that were underfunded, it would help them a little bit. But the problem was even the guys, it was so much work into it. Now the asphalt world, and this is what I hope does not happen in the dirt world, because this is what I love about the tire sampling and everything. Asphalt world, they show up, they buy their tires at the racetrack. Guess what? They probably pay another 10, 15% on top of what normal price is, and then you buy them right there at the track. I really hope it doesn't go that way. So whatever we got to do, whether it's charge another $5 when they come in the pits, whatever it is, I would be up for paying a little bit more as long as it's going to the tire monitoring or sampling, whatever people want to call it. Then it would benefit everybody.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So,
but
pretty
then
big.
you get, and then you get into the whole, well, then does drug testing come on board, and then you just open a whole other can of worms, unfortunately. And I think,
yeah, but let's back up here. For the most part, everything's policed, and I'm going to say what happened is people were probably like, look, and I've said this too. Big races we go to. I should say that all the testing done that was caught was on the preliminary night. It wasn't the night of the Dream, the 100. And what people go, well, why would they do that? Well, for one, you got to get
it's all starting spot,
points based.
Yeah.
So you look at, hey, if I can win them nights, or I can get the best finish, qualify, whatever.
Brandon Shepard's a perfect example of that. He won both qualifiers both nights.
Yeah.
And
yep. And I mean, it again, it's it's not just him. There's
no,
so many
absolutely.
that
there's 4 other ones this weekend.
It's
from this
very
race.
hard. You just can't blame these 5 guys. This is they're getting called out because they got caught. But there's so many others that are doing it, and that's what I'm like. I just hope more series and tracks and everybody will put up this to be able to really push this out. So, anyways, it's very misfortunate because it puts a black eye on dirt racing right now. But folks, dirt racing is at a all-time premium for entertainment value for what's going on in the short track world, and we need to keep it straight and legit. So they're
Too
doing
legit,
it.
Don't quit.
So, anyways, the other thing that I find interesting on this, again, the preliminary night, most people when they go and check tires, they know, hey, well, 100-lap race. Well, look, most of the time you got to manage your tires, or a 100-lap race is going on. You're not going to do it once you're in the show.
Right.
But the prelims leading up, you have guys that, and I've seen it. I've been to races where I'm like, well, this guy just kicked my butt in the heat race, and all of a sudden he can't hit his butt in a feature.
So let me ask you this. So when you dope a tire for the heat races, I'm assuming it doesn't last as long, so that's why they only do it for preliminary. Like, would a doped tire last for 100 laps?
There's so much into, and listen, I've done it on my asphalt stuff. Never done any dirt tires, because you have tire selection and different things. And again, credibility is everything. When you go and do a tire, you can manage whether it's a 100-lap race, 50-lap race. If you just want to do, we had tires on asphalt, literally they would last 3 laps and that's it. I mean, they would eat them. Like you would roll the car out and it'd have black marks on the asphalt. But it's just the time and effort and everything that goes into it. And again, there is the positive side of it is a guy that cannot afford new tires every week to be competitive, say he does it. That's fine, but it's dangerous, okay? Mm-hmm. Guys putting stuff inside. I've seen many tires blow out. It's very dangerous health-wise. People start mixing concoctions. I knew a guy, he'd get bloody noses, cough up blood. I mean, we're just talking about nasty stuff here. So at the end of the day, there's reasons we do this to monitor. One, safety is a big thing. You don't need liabilities and all the other stuff. So there's a lot there. I think there's more to this than just tires. There's, Sam and them, what I liked also after the race, they went up, checked the cars afterwards. But again, racers are going to police everyone. We've seen right at the Dream, multi-parking with guys that normally wouldn't park by other people. And they're probably watching stuff.
Yeah,
I do it. The thing is that you take Mark Richards, and when I talk about credibility, you don't think him and Josh Richards sitting there doping tires. He'd have so much to lose, because then people go, oh, well, that's why them rocket cars are faster.
Absolutely.
That's why. No, it's not. They work hard, so they need to be rewarded for working hard. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that this year with their car. They've done an exceptional job with it.
Well, and I remember you saying from your trip from Eldora, everybody always gets so excited when it comes to the scales, because we've seen so many races won and lost at the Eldora scales.
Yep.
And now they actually have a big screen, right? Or
what it is they have, when you pull up on the scales, and their scale area is bigger, they have a light, green and red, and everybody just would sit there.
I thought it was an actual board that came up.
Well, it reads the number on it. But the other thing I found interesting, I talked to Sam this morning, which we're going to have him on next week. He's really busy with his the hell
everything
tour going
on.
But Thursday, they had asked everybody, said, hey, just bring your tires to the scale area or whatever, and we'll take samples there. Then they just went around Friday to everybody's pit because it kind of got clustered. It's not like people, they didn't know they were checking tires. They were checking tires. So it's pretty crazy that what went on.
I don't know. Like, I think about what you just said and then bringing tires on Thursday. Well, I mean, if I was cheating, don't you think I'd grab a tire that wasn't soaked?
You'd think, but
I'm assuming they would mark them of some sort. I don't know how that works.
We'll close this out by 2 things went on. At Eldora, they have, people are like, well, why don't they just run a softer tire? No, they have a soft tire and basically 2 selections. I'm pretty sure, maybe 3. They do that so people don't have to buy as many tires. You go there, you have a tire rule. That's what it's for, to save money. The other thing is with this suspension, not only are they suspended from World Outlaw late models, the UMP dirt car, is the World 100. They're out of Falls, the Firecracker. I mean, there's so many races, big races, that these guys will not.
I believe it's September 11th. Their suspension is up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a long summer.
Right after the World 100. So, but the penalties should be very severe because this is setting the benchmark, and I really hope it flows over to modifieds because the modified is obviously they're not the top class, but there's so much going on in it. I call it the working man car. You have to have the perception that, hey, we need to check this stuff. We need to do it. Even if they put the cars on jack stands, look at it. So, anyways, there's a lot going on there.
There's so much to be policed.
All right, I'm done talking about all that.
Are you sure you're done?
Are
you sure you're off your soapbox?
I was I'm going to tell you.
He was lit up this morning. I get up and work out really early, and I always come back and get him up, and he says the first thing, you know what we're talking about on the show today? And I was like, yes, David.
What's funny is because I talked to other people, and they were the same way. They're like, oh, man, like I'd seen on Twitter, Rumley was at a concert, and then Stephen Brooks was on there, and he was very vocal about it too. So many people had opinions, and it's more.
We all have opinions,
but it's more the people that work very hard at what's going on. And again, I do not fault a lot of these guys because it's a hard decision. They make a living at this, and when you know other people are doing it and they get away with it, it's kind of hard not to do it. And there was 100,000 reasons why. It's just
but there's one now that you wish you wouldn't have.
That much farther over that benchmark probably. So
and your reputation.
Kudos to the lab, to Sam and his group at UMP, and to Roger Slack because this is a big.
This is a big deal. This is huge. Deal.
And I think again the state of dirt racing, and I hope a lot of you fans see this. It needs to happen because in the asphalt world it got really crazy. It's
How many cars were there that weekend?
There was 79.
So they only tested like a third of
the cars.
Wow. And they got 5.
So who knows? It'd be really great to hear Lanigan, what he has to say, because Lucas Oil, another very high profile series. They sample tires, their process and how they do it with everything. But anyways, how about Bobby Pierce is tearing up. It up
he is.
In the Hell Tour.
And so is Billy Moyer Sr.
I was going to say Billy Moyer Sr.
He's tearing it up.
He is, is this his last hurrah? He's just giving it all he's got, But it was very interesting because they were up there in Wisconsin. You had Crone and Mars and a lot of the local guys. And, they were holding their own very, very well. Mm-hmm. That's it? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to go something else.
Billy Moyer is doing a phenomenal job.
I said that.
What's interesting is when I watched him at the Dream, he made the race. He didn't really, it was very odd. It's like, well, if I couldn't win, he just used it as a test session. Mm-hmm. So obviously it's working out. Billy Moyer Jr. went to Hartford, Michigan. He went to, I'd seen Oakshade. He picked up some wins too so it was a good weekend for them.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of a good weekend, we will talk to Darrell Lanigan right after the break here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly. Restore lost fuel economy and eliminate rough idle with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner and get 1 free. Clean clogged injectors and increase fuel efficiency with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Buy 2, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you need a ready-mix truck with an excellent product support network, look no further than Houseby Mixer Systems. We offer superior performance and reliability. Houseby works with your local truck dealer for immediate product support for the ready-mix trucks, parts, and service. We can also offer direct sales. It's your choice. We also carry an inventory of ready-to-work mixer trucks. Visit houseby.com for more information.
Hi, I'm Marty Huff. Join me and 10-time NHRA National Event winner Doug Herbert for 1 hour of horsepower Thursdays at noon on the Straight Line. We'll talk to the biggest names in NHRA drag racing and keep you up to date with news from the pits, tracks, and shops across the country. Join us Thursdays at noon for the Straight Line, streaming live on the MRN app, the Motor Racing Network's YouTube channel, and on MRN.com.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We have the Lucas Oil winner from Magnolia Motor Speedway. It is Darrell Lanigan. Welcome back to the show, Darrell.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So, of course, the big topic of discussion today is the release that was let out by UMP today. And
I thought we were done talking about
we're
this.
not done talking about it because ultimately the top 5 of your race had a couple of those guys in it.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder there what you're racing against all year now. If they're getting caught in that series, you pretty much know they just didn't start doing it for that race. So it's kind of aggravating because our team is clean and we don't do nothing like that, and here we got to race against that kind of stuff. And it just, like I said, it's aggravating.
That's something that when we discuss this before you come on the show is to get people to understand you have a credibility. You have Club 29 race cars. Not only that, you have Georgia Boot as a sponsor with the Clint Boyer Racing. You have so much to lose, doing that risk that it's not worth it.
No, it's not. And Clint, I mean, he's a big, firm believer, and there's not going to be nothing like that's going to go on at the shop. When I was hired on there, he stressed that never was and never will happen at that shop. So, like I said, then it gets aggravating that we're out there busting our ass off, building new pieces and chasing stuff, and here, these guys are not up and up with everybody. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to believe that they can go through all the tire tests and not get caught on our series either.
Well, that's what I don't want to talk about that no more. You have been working hard. I seen back in April you were testing. It hasn't gone unnoticed because you've had strong runs at the Dream. You were running very well. It just doesn't happen overnight. Talk about some of that with working and then also driving for Clint and everything kind of going on there.
Right. This year, I mean, noticeably it has been a little bit of a struggle. I think a lot of people do monkey see, monkey do, and I mean, we've been chasing things that other people you hear in the pits, that you see the way the cars act, and I mean, you start chasing other people's stuff, and then you kind of leave out what you know works. So this week we actually went back and built an old style car and put back on exactly the way we ran 2 years ago, and put it on the scales, never moved a nut, went to the track. I think we changed maybe one spring and had a good night. So, I mean, sometimes you just got to go back to your old roots, and sometimes it gets it done. Like I said, but this year has definitely been a little bit of struggle, and like you said, just chasing a lot of other things that you see and trying to make it work.
Did with Dennis Erb win in there because he's in the in a black diamond, which is
right.
I take it that's what isn't Stuckey. He builds your cars or builds it
Stuckey
to your
builds
spec.
all the chassis, and we do he'll build the frame, then we get the cars here and then put them all together. But he builds all the frames here at the black diamond. So
was that something when he had to run? He did. You go maybe this is just hocus pocus. We need to go back to what we know, kind of grandma's recipe.
Right. I mean, we know. I mean, I pretty much know that he runs the same stuff he's ran there 2 years ago, last year, and ran very well, and went back and put it on his car and ran good this year. So, like I said, we just had to back up a little bit. We the boys left Monday, went to Stuckey's, and put a car together, and went to Magnolia this weekend and won the race. So, like I said, I can't be more proud of them guys for working their ass off, getting the car done, and Clint for letting us do it all.
No doubt. So you picked a car up Monday and had it fully assembled as a frame to a complete chassis and ready to race and go in. That's impressive.
Yeah, we showed up practice Thursday, unloaded. I think we was third on board there, third on the score, the time clock, and then every practice we went out, we was like top 2 or 3. So we knew we had a good piece. Worked on it a little bit the next day, and then definitely had a really good piece for the feature.
So with having Don O'Neill as your teammate, is throughout the year, have you guys been on separate programs and now Don wants to lean more towards what you're doing, or how's all that work?
Well, I think we've both been searching a little bit, and I'm sure since this car here and the program we got on this weekend, I'm sure them guys are wanting to go that direction too. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't, but like I said, when you kind of struggle all year, it's kind of hard to help somebody when you're struggling yourself. And I mean, you know what works, but it's kind of hard to tell somebody, hey, you need to do this when they're looking at you like, why aren't you running up front? So, but like I said, I know we got a good piece. We just had to go back to roots and then get it going again. Yeah,
it's funny you mention when you say chasing other people and stuff in the pits, because as a builder and I watch stuff, it's something that you always hear, oh, this guy's doing this or this. And one of the things I notice in dirt racing, there's so much new technology coming in, so many unknowns. From the asphalt side of things, when I look at it, I'm like, hey, maybe I look at some things differently because I want to understand more what's going on. When you go to one track, it might not work at the other. Well, there's loads and different things. Shapes are different, dirt. There's so much that you have to take into account. And maybe there's something going on with that throughout the pit area. I mean, because you'll see one guy and it's like, oh, yeah, this worked for me. And I'm like, I don't understand that. But he might be hot that night, and then he ain't hot for about 2 months, you know?
Right. As you know, like every car, I don't care how you build it or what tubing you put in it, every car is going to be a little bit different. Every car likes something a little bit different. Every driver likes something a little bit different. So you can't take what everybody does and just think you're going to put it on your car and be magic. So you just got to know what you like to feel, and what that car likes, and put it on it. I mean, that's the best way to put it.
I agree.
Well, you talked about Clint Boyer, and he kind of gives you a road that you can go down and that you can't. How influential is he, and how much say does he have in what you have going on, or is kind of at your helm that you can take a wheel and do what you want?
You know, Clint's probably one of the best car owners in the pits, and people probably really don't realize that. But, I mean, he brings top-notch sponsors to the pit area, and, I mean, a good-looking team. And he tells me every day, like, do whatever you want. This is your team. Race it how you want to. I mean, when it comes to the end, yes, he has the final decision, but he lets you pretty much do what you want to. So, like, when you find car owners like these guys, I mean, it's hard to find.
How has it been? I mean, you were a multi-time champion in World Outlaws. Now you're running full Lucas Oil Tour. What are some of the differences you see?
Well, as far as the organization, they're both pretty similar. I mean, they're both pretty much ran the same. The biggest difference is, I mean, I'm sure you can see the caliber of the competition's a little bit steeper in the Lucas Oil. Hell, they got 12 guys that probably can win any night of the week. Yeah. So, and then going to a lot of the different tracks that the Magnolia, I've been there one time in 10 years. So just going to a lot of the tracks that I haven't been to in a while is probably the biggest change for me.
So what are some other ones that are on your list that you haven't been to in a while?
Well, at the beginning of the year, like I said, we started down there at Brunswick. I don't know if I've ever been there. It's been a while since they changed the track. We actually went to the old track that was down there and actually won races, and I think set the track record down there. But East Bay was one of the other ones. The track's coming up. I know Macon, Illinois.
Oh, boy.
There. The Granite City, we were there this year one time. That's the first time I've been there. So, like I said, there's a bunch of first-timers. I-80 coming up, never been there. Like I said, there's probably 80% of the tracks I've never been to.
Wow.
It's funny you mentioned Macon, and just like my wife here goes, oh, boy. I love it as a driver. It's very racy, 3 wide. It's kind of like
tiny.
It's kind of like Fairbury, where you look at it and you go, how do you race on this? And then it's pretty easy, but it's really neat. When you look at the state of dirt late model racing, and obviously with this all the tire stuff that went on over the yesterday, what are some of the things that you see with dirt racing, dirt late models, whatever it is, to keep the hype and everything going in the right direction?
Well, you know, it's hard to say there. I mean, it's just dirt racing's a tough. Dirt racing is different than sprint car racing. I mean, I just want to throw that out there just because there's only a handful of good sprint cars that I consider good sprint cars that run the Outlaw Series.
Yeah.
And they go across the country, and when they come to town, everybody wants to see them because they don't get to see them every week.
Yeah.
Dirt late models, there's so many good cars. You can go to a local track and see 2 or 3 good cars every week. So when a group of guys come to town, it's not as impressive as if we didn't come there but once a year. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So there's a lot of late model drivers, a lot of good drivers, and a lot of good cars out there. And like I said, sometimes I think there's too many because I think it hurts the fan base because like fans can go to any track any night of the week and see 2 or 3 good drivers.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've said. You look at that Pennsylvania area, you go up Minnesota, you got out in Missouri. I mean, there's the dirt late model down here in the Southeast. There's so many that maybe don't travel a tour, but they're very, very strong
Right. Dirt late model, it is very, very strong right now.
Well, I think one of the things that, and hopefully they're doing this, and Lucas Oil did a bunch of rule changes, but is trying to keep an even playing field. So when you guys do come into town, the locals, pretty much try to have a shot, because you need to, like you said, you have 12 guys traveling on the series, but you need those other guys to fill the field and be able to feel like they're competitive.
You really do. But now with this tire deal coming out, it's actually a stab in the back for dirt late models because now the local guys are saying, they're not checking these guys on a series, so why should we go run with them if they're letting them get by with stuff?
Yeah,
That's a very valid point.
What are some of the procedures that Lucas Oil goes through on their tires?
Well, after the races, they will take a tire sample, send them in, and they're supposed to be sampled, and so, I mean, that's the sense that I know of. So,
yeah. Well,
as far as what they do or how they test them, I'm really not sure.
As a racer, I've always raised hell about, like, look, we need to have it heat races, qualifying everything, and that's what these basically 5 guys that failed were all done on the prelim nights. Nothing was done on the dream night. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I agree. I mean, as much money they spend on what they're doing, I don't see why they can't be a sample done within 15, 20 minutes. I don't know why you can't do one after qualifying and take a sample, and by feature time, you're not ruining a race for somebody else that should have had that spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think tire samples need to be done quicker. And I also think when tire samples are done, I know you get a sheet or what's all in the tire. Yep. I think that needs to be posted the next week on the front of the trailer for everybody to see it.
I agree.
So everybody knows what's going on.
I think in due time, technology, we'll see, kits or whatever can be done at the track. But I think you do see that's why the penalties are so severe. They're going to miss out on a lot of big races, including the World 100. So, I mean, the penalties need to meet, what's going on. And like you said, there's so much that snowballed from them getting in through a prelim or whatever else that knocked another guy out that might have had a shot.
Exactly. So, you were rooting for somebody else that had a chance to go in there and make some money or win the race or either one.
But it's interesting. It's something that obviously it's an ongoing battle. I like the tire sampling. I hope they do more of it because coming from the asphalt side, the one thing I don't want to see is, okay, everybody shows up at the track and you buy your tires at the track. That's not a thing I want to see go on. So
no, you really don't. I mean, that hurts everything. And the tire guy, unless they do something where you're not allowed to groove or sight, buy your tires and you mount them, and that's all you can do. And I mean, yeah, I hate to get to that, but if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, hopefully, I hope a lot of good comes out of this because, like you said, there's a lot of people, and these aren't the only 5 guys. There's probably so many others that just haven't been caught.
Exactly.
But it's going to send a message out there. Hey, guys, we're not messing around here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you call out that caliber of drivers, they're definitely not messing around.
Yeah,
no doubt.
But we'll see. Well, we really appreciate you coming on here, and again, the work has not gone unnoticed. I mean, you've been working your tails off and been running quite well and keeping up with everything. And again, congratulations, and we look to haven't seen you in Victory Lane many more times.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on there, and like I said, appreciate all you all do for us. And then, like I said, I can't thank my sponsors, Georgia Boot and Pecan Free, to thank them guys enough, and Clint Boyer and his brother and them all for what they do for us.
Yeah,
absolutely awesome, Darrell.
Hey, before you get off the phone, how many cars you sell yesterday?
I had a lot of calls. The phone's been a little quiet this year. I mean, of course, if you're not winning, the phone don't ring. But yesterday I was actually driving home from Orlando, and I was like, it didn't quit ringing. And once that news came out about the tire thing about 10 o'clock, it didn't quit ringing until about 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, holy cow.
It's amazing how that works. I mean, win on Sunday or Saturday, and you'll start selling on Monday. So.
That's right.
Oh, I'm telling you, I had so many phone calls yesterday. So, and it's good. It's good. That's great.
Probably a lot of customers, too. Hey, what's new you got? What's this? And
what's new? What's the new trick? I'm like, dude, you just wouldn't understand if I told you. Like, it's back to basics.
Yeah, it is. I call it Grandma's recipe. You always go back to it. I think Randy Sweet calls it sweet potato, the Grandma's sweet potato or whatever. But
right.
Anyways, it's always something. But again, congratulations. Really happy for you guys.
I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Darrell.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Boy, I'm telling you, in April.
You first.
What's that now?
Two things.
Oh, here we go.
One, you've started to pick up a stutter in that interview.
Well,
and two,
I'm
calling me out for not talking about tire samples in your last 5 minutes of talking was nothing but tire samples.
I didn't want to go right into it.
So
I didn't want to go right into it.
Because ultimately there was a lot of guys in the top 5 of his race.
I'm trying to be very...
Don't even say you're being politically correct.
Trying to be
not
very
now.
Political.
No. Sorry.
I am, because I have, again, at the end of the day, this isn't about picking on the 5 guys that got caught.
Absolutely.
By no means.
This
is about
setting a standard.
Yes, the industry needs this. They need to go over and check tires. Track promoters, owners, series, everybody has to step up. This is a serious game. You just heard it. When the locals go, it's just like Willie Milliken. What was it, a month or so ago?
Yeah,
he wins World Outlaw Race there at Fayetteville. He gets all this hype, interviews, everything else. Guess what? Failed the test. Well, bud, if you know, what'd you prove then? You failed the tires,
right?
You know,
unfortunately,
you didn't win the race. So that's something that you know, it's comes out a little later. So it's pretty crucial. But Darrell has a very good insight on what's going on. But they have been working hard. But you know, a lot of guys been working hard. So I mean, it's definitely pushing everybody's game. But it's interesting. He kind of goes back to basics, and what do you know? He's in victory lane.
Why are you cheesing so hard?
Because I laugh. I laugh. As a builder, everybody's like, hey, what's new? I'm like, I don't know. I just run the same stuff that works for me, and it works, you know, and just keep tweaking on it. So you have to find what you
different.
like. But the biggest thing is, if I could give advice, is look, understand your car. Don't understand what everybody else's car is doing. You always hear all this stuff. I call them fishing lures. They're like, oh, we have this, we have this. I'm like, look, I know what my car does, and I go out and do it.
And you hate fishing.
Yeah, I don't like fishing.
I love it.
Go on.
All right, we got to go to a commercial break so we can talk to Billy Pauch here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Get all the reactions and latest word from the track immediately following each race weekend on MRN's Motorsports Monday with Woody Kane and Joey Meyer.
Johnny Sauter drives the number 21 Chevrolet Silverado.
You know, I didn't know that necessarily we'd been first race of the year.
Log on to MRN.com every Monday at noon Eastern or stream the program from the MRN Media Center on demand. It's MRN Motorsports Monday, only on the Motor Racing Network.
O'Reilly. Restore lost fuel economy and eliminate rough idle with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner and get 1 free. Clean clogged injectors and increase fuel efficiency with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Buy 2, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We're the Stremmes. We've had a great show thus far, and now we're going to change modes, and we are going to talk a little bit of big block racing.
Mud buses.
Mud buses, that is right. We have the Dirty Jersey 40 winner. It is Billy Pauch, Jr. Welcome back to the show, Billy.
Thank you, Ashley. It's always good to talk to you and Dave.
Absolutely.
He just threw my name in there just to...
Yeah, just to make it look good, I know.
Yeah.
Billy,
Well, of course, I hear him on there calling it mud buses, but that's different.
I love it. Listen, we get called track packers, just our little dumpster cars, they call them, or whatever, but at least you guys have appropriate names.
Exactly. At least we got something on it. They're just kind of jealous of the cars. That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
Love it. So an awesome week. Tuesday, you won the Dirty Jersey 40. It was your birthday. It's your first Father's Day. You beat your dad. He finished second, and it was your biggest win of your career. Explain all that in 1 week.
No, I went off pretty good last week there. We, we've had some good wins. We've won 10 guys. It's the second or third time we've won 10 grand at a race, which is a good one. But that was definitely one of the bigger ones for sure. But we were good last week. We've been good all year. I just had one of them years where we got a lot of top fives and we only had 2 wins, and we got a slew of top fives. It's been one of them years, and we put it all together last week, and it come in the form of 10 grand. So I wasn't going to complain.
You know what? You got to be there every week, and then the wins will come. So that's what you got to look at. What are some of the challenges going on in the big block world right now? I know Ashley just informed me that they're halting the New York
Central New York Raceway Park.
New York Raceway Park. But what are some of the other things going on?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different things. We're, I don't know how technical we get into it. We're in this experimental world right now where a lot of people down our way are trying new suspension types, which is really an interesting thing because we've been stuck on the same for 15, 20 years now. And, from your standpoint, it's definitely a lot different. We're looking at coils, left side pan on our bars, doing a bunch of different standpoints from our technical side of it. So that's made it a challenge, and it's funny, I was listening to you guys before I came on here, and David's talk was about how people chase what other people are doing and not worry about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And, in the past 5 years, I've had a bunch of offers to build shocks, to do this to people. I got to give you credit for doing it because my answer to everyone is there's no magic answer to this. It's what makes work for you. I can't magically fix anything.
Yeah. My enjoyment, it is hard. Building cars and doing stuff, but my enjoyment is when customers win, and I can really get what they need in the car. It doesn't necessarily work for me. It's just tuning for them. It's just like doctors prescribe prescriptions. Everything's different, but when you talk about the suspension, I've heard of a few things and seen some stuff going on in that big block world of apparatuses going and coming and all this stuff, but it seems like the same old stuff is still doing very well.
Yeah, the same old stuff's pretty good. We've been stuck on a torsion bar design here for a long time, and it's kind of got a sweet spot, a big sweet spot, and that's what makes them easy. We've got into the 4 links like you guys run and whatnot, but we had a lot of issues getting people to. There was a little bit thinner of a margin for error when you're setting up a car, so that's kind of where we've stuck with, and we've been finally getting back around, and you'll notice some of the races and some of the articles out there that we've been trying a lot of different stuff, and that's been really dominating the area around here. Modified's been the same forever, and it's definitely a good sport. I mean, I can run. I don't run modifieds Wednesday, but I run out of Kutztown, so we run 2,000 win Wednesdays, 3 on Fridays, and 2,500 on Saturdays. So within 2 hours, I can run for pretty good money.
I love the Wednesday shows. I think it works out. If a promoter has their stuff together, you're done at night. You have your weekends. If somebody just wants to run a Wednesday, they can race a Wednesday and go to the lake or camping or whatever on the weekend. So I think that works out.
Well, if you ever make it up to PA, I challenge you guys to come out to Kutztown. They do a real nice job actually over there. They get about 120 cars on a Wednesday night between 3 different divisions, and they pay good money. It's a really neat concept they got going there, and we actually have been fortunate. We won the championship 2 years in a row there, and they work hard. They're out of there by 10:30. That's the biggest thing anymore. People's attention spans aren't there. They want to be in and out as fast as they can be.
What'd you say? They're running Williams Grove tonight?
Yes, Williams Grove tonight.
You there?
They run Williams Grove tomorrow night, actually. I am unfortunately not gonna. As I was telling you before, Kutztown. I am stuck in the Kutztown, and I've got to. We're running up in points again, so unfortunately I cannot make that one. But we do plan on traveling out to Eldora for their Super Dirt Series show.
I was going to ask you about that. Are you looking forward to the Eldora trip?
Yes, I am. That is one of the ones that have been on our radar since they announced it back in October. So we we were fortunate we built a new car for Charlotte, and we've only ran it 2 or 3 times, so we're going to be taking that one out there. Even though, as you guys know, the World Finals this year wasn't too polite on cars the way the track conditions were. So, but we're ready to go, and we'll be ready in 3 weeks.
Hey, you talked about suspension and all the crazy stuff that's going on. Suspension didn't seem to really play into your deal this weekend. I'm pretty sure toting the left front was fine after you bent that shock.
Yes, it was. I knocked the shock tower off on lap 17, and we rode without a left front shock for the last 23 laps. That wasn't even one. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of doing that yet, Dave, on a dirt car yet. But it made as long as I kept the left front off the ground, I was okay. As soon as I lifted, the thing would dig in and shoot across the track.
I'm one. I like to use all 4 tires
to turn it instead of 3.
Instead of 3 there. When you talk about building a brand new car for Charlotte and Eldora, is that kind of like how everybody would build one for Syracuse? You build them for the bigger tracks?
You would usually do. We kind of do it around timing or whatnot, and the timing of the races. It's when we get in a rhythm, we like to build them about midsummer, and there's a lot of big money races around here, like the 25,000 Freedom 76er or the Syracuse or Charlotte even pays real well.
Yeah.
So we like to build them for the big money races and have fresh metal. Yep. I'm still undecided if fresh metal makes a difference or if a good car is just a good car forever.
Yeah.
David thinks it does. He loves new bodies.
I just think a brand new car is always going to be better.
I've got the same way, man. I've always built cars, and I got one car that I'm back to is an 09, and we've been really, really, really strong with it, better than what I was with my brand new one. I'm telling you, no matter which way you look at it, you can jig them all up sometimes. It all depends on the welder of that car that day. If he's having a bad day, that frame ain't as good. I know they say different, metallologies say different, but I'm almost swearing on that sometimes.
Yeah.
I like it.
It all depends on if Dave's wife gives him heck in the morning or not.
Yeah. It all depends what's playing on the radio.
That's true.
So
if he's whistling or singing along, you know it's a good day.
I tell my customers all the time, I'm like, look, I'll trade you cars. I don't care. I mean, we try to build them all the same. Hey, Brett Hearn's got a race coming up next Tuesday that he puts on every year. Are you going to be in attendance of that?
We may be up there for that one. We're looking at going up to Albany for that one, so we'll chase that, and then we'll have we have Big Diamond Friday night and New Egypt on Saturday. So there's a ton of big races coming around here. We got Grandview with the dirt mods and stuff, and we travel out to Susquehanna. We're going out back to Harrisburg area. So
when is that?
We got a lot of racing coming up, that's for sure.
When's the Susquehanna Harrisburg area going to go on?
July 31st we go out there.
Well, we're going to have to hit that one.
I'll be in Vegas.
Oh.
I hear you. Would you bring your dirt modified in for the Port Royal show here earlier this year?
Yeah, they have a race coming up into July at Salinsgrove, whatever. I don't know.
Yes,
I get corrected for saying that all the time, but they've been growing up there, so I like that area, and but I'll have to come visit you guys on a Wednesday. I like Wednesday races.
Now I've got to throw this out there. I've heard from a bunch of people who've driven the IMCA and the big blocks that the IMCA is almost drives himself compared to a big block. So I'd be curious to see what your opinion would be one day.
Well, there's a difference, Billy, in IMCA versus
I think he's
open.
giving you a ride in his car is what I think.
I'd love to. It's funny because I do like them cars. I watch them, and I've been following Max McLaughlin. He's done a very good job in his.
Yes.
I just think that you really have to drive them, and that's what I like about basically a modified in general. There's not a lot of downforce, the horsepower versus weight ratio, and you slide around quite a bit with them. So it's something that's definitely intrigued me. Even, I'll tell you what, I got an itch for a late model when I was watching at the Dream up there. I was like, I would really like to run one of those too. So you never know.
Well, next time I'm down in the area, we're going to get together, have a beer, and we're going to talk some suspension and chassis compared to these cars. I still think there's a lot to it. But that's for an off topic, off the radio discussion.
I'd love to, because it's funny. We've had a few calls, and it's always. I think this about any racing, whether it's dirt, asphalt, whatever. When you get somebody else's opinion, they look at things totally different outside the box, and I think it doesn't hurt when you put people together. You can always come up with good conclusions. So. Love to. Plus, I like having a good cold Coors Light. So.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Well, Billy, the last time we had you on the show, you talked about how you had to scale back your racing program. You had to get a real job and pay the bills. But it sounds like the tables are starting to turn the other direction. The schedule's picking up. Are things good?
Everything's good. I don't know. A lot of people ask me how I pull this off because I still do have a real job during the days, and which is good. I'm very fortunate on that side. I mean, racing's a very great sport, but it's tough to make a total living off it anymore. Unfortunately, the way it is. But this is a nice thing. It allows me to make some extra money, and I'm fortunate I have a great wife, sister that travels with me about everywhere. A great little guy right now. He's 6 months here next week, which is crazy. Yeah, they're. Oof. I didn't know what. I'll be honest with you guys. I did not know what to expect when I was having a child, but it's been a wonderful experience, that's for sure.
So what do you do during the week?
I play with numbers. I'm a financial person.
Oh, that's always good.
And a racer.
I know numbers. I can think geometry. I can build shocks. I can do everything. But I have my fun on my own stuff. That's why I give you credit for dealing with customers on that side. I just don't know if I'd have the patience for it.
So the thing that I thought was interesting with the what is the track name again? New York
Central New York Raceway Park.
They were talking about the government hasn't given them all the money, and I said, well, somebody forgot to carry the one there on this one. But
exactly.
Maybe they need you.
I don't know about that one. That's going to be an interesting thing. I'll be curious to see when it's built, because you guys and me both know how hard it is to build a racetrack in today's times.
It's crazy. I mean, I think that obviously rumors going around that they're going to go to Oswego, put dirt on it. We see a lot of tracks doing that. Matter of fact, I think coming up next week is the Rockford, Illinois. They're putting dirt on it for the World Outlaw Sprint Cars and Late Models. So, I mean, there's a lot of places doing it, testing the waters, and maybe we'll see more with that.
Unfortunately, besides for the bigger stage, I see all the asphalt tracks are kind of struggling with car count stuff. It's just so expensive to do it, and dirt's kind of been a better option, and I've grown up that way. But I can appreciate a good race in anything, even a lawnmower race.
Yeah, I mean, I do see what you're saying. There's some asphalt tracks are doing well still. Some are down. Dirt's doing well. I think majority. Some are down in some areas. It just depends where you're at. So
it depends on everything, and I think I think the biggest thing that's lax nowadays is there's not a lot of people that want to put the work and time into it. You know what I mean? And I was looking at it. I didn't really know much about him. He's a Facebook friend of mine, and I know he's a competition of yours. But I was looking at that Nick Hoffman is one of all them races out there. I mean, people they say he puts a lot of time and effort into it. We need people that want to work and start from scratch and build their own stuff, and there's just less and less people out there like that.
Yeah, there is. It's hard getting people involved. They do have really cool things, cars up into West Virginia area. Michigan's doing it. They call them little mini wedges, go-karts. That they get the kids involved beforehand. But at the end of the day, it does take a lot of work, time, and effort, and hopefully a lot of the younger generation wants to get involved with it, because it is fun. You do meet so many different racing people across the whole United States, and you get to learn different personalities outside of racing too.
It's a very great aspect. As I tell my wife, we're the most popular people with the least amount of friends, because as soon as it rains out as on Saturday, I'm like, I don't have any other friends besides racing. Who do I go to see?
Yeah.
Love it. Well, tell Michelle I said hello, and thanks for being on the show, Billy. We appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure. You guys keep up the great work. It's good, the promotion of dirt track racing.
Congratulations on your big win.
Thank you. Appreciate you too.
Bye. We got to go to break.
Yes, we do.
Here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly.
Restore lost fuel economy and eliminate rough idle with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner and get 1 free. Clean clogged injectors and increase fuel efficiency with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Buy 2, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Looking to find the best place for all the latest NASCAR Sprint Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, K&N, and Modified Series news? MRN.com is the place to go. Your online home for NASCAR news, opinion, podcasts, videos, race schedules, results, and statistics. Award-winning motorsports writers keep you informed and up-to-date on all the latest breaking NASCAR news and in-depth stories and opinion. MRN.com, your online home for all the NASCAR information you're looking for. Join the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Get the latest news, and exclusive interviews from the biggest names in the sport.
One thing, don't take yourself too seriously. Don't worry about people judging and just...
Hear the thoughts and opinions from NASCAR insiders.
Look at what he's been able to do with the Wood Brothers since they returned to full-time competition this year. Now, obviously...
It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday evening at 7 Eastern on the Motor Racing Network. This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Well, welcome back to Slingin Dirt. We're your hosts, Stremmes.
Yep. Hey, so all this tire dope kind of overshadowed a little bit of USMTS has been running up in the Midwest. You talk about rules, everything else. I do not get, they allow basically a Wasoto car in different tire, engine combination, weight, all this other stuff with their standard USMTS rules. Totally blown away by that. I don't know how you police.
There's no infraction between, like,
it is a total chaos. Different engines, different stuff.
Well, that's how it is in the big block world and the small block
but
deal.
this is
there's
even,
weight breaks and...
This isn't even close.
Okay.
And I don't know how you take and manage all that. So it'd be like taking the World 100 and saying, hey, we're just going to take about 5 dirt late model teams, and guess what? You can run whatever you run at your local deal.
Run what you run.
Can't do that. So.
Well, speaking of USMTS, they have the Widow Wax Summer Soda Nationals at Fergus Falls?
Yep.
Fergus Falls.
I think that's another one of them crazy ruled races.
Crazy ruled races.
Yep.
The Hell Tour, of course, it's in full swing. The next 2 weeks are solid.
World Outlaw late
just
models.
go to thehelltour.com. Yeah, I've got the schedule here in front of me. Dirt cars at Williams Grove and Cornwall on Sunday, and the World of Outlaws tonight at Weed Sport. And the Firecracker 100 at Lernerville. We'll see if Rick Eckert can hold his PA win again. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, we're the Stremmes. Go check out your local track this weekend. Thanks for joining us here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires.
This has been Slingin Dirt with Ashley and David Stremme. Listen every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com for more news, interviews, and opinion from dirt tracks all over America. Slingin Dirt is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.